Hi everyone, welcome to another episode of Teach the Skill. Today we'd like to work on foot dribbling, and I'd like to share with you some of the very foundational basics that we teach in our elementary PE program. And I want to start with a skill that we call carrying, and carrying is how you run with the ball in open space. And so in soccer, when children run with the ball, we want them to touch it with the top of their foot. So it's gonna look like this. They're gonna put that toe down and they're gonna touch the top of their foot to the ball, just like that. And once they get the hang of that, then we want to start changing the amount of force they apply. So some touches will be small, and then some touches will be larger, and that's going to help them to begin to be able to accelerate. And you'll notice that I put these cones down in a channel, and I did that so that you could see with beginners, I think it's important for them to begin to have a sense of, are they going from side to side, or can they be sort of intentional in their direction and get the ball to go exactly where they want it to go. So with the beginning of carrying, I think it's important, top of the foot. You may see kids want to turn this foot out, and the example I always use is to turn both feet out and try to run forward that way. It's not a very efficient way to run, which is why you want to touch the ball with the top of the foot, similar to how your foot comes off the ground in running. And so once they get the idea of this, I think it's really good to start to include some basic racing with the ball, so that they're doing little, and then when on your go, they race to a point. And then that leads to what comes next, and where we do our assessment is on their ability to do a turn with the inside of the foot. And some of my soccer coach friends will call this a big toe turn. And so as they approach the ball from behind, the ball's rolling, they're going to rub and then touch down. And you notice my heel's turned out a little bit. That's going to help the ball to stay. So let me show you one. This is kind of the advanced pattern. It'll be a couple of little touches, then a big, then I'll do this big toe turn. So little, big, then little toe turn. And you notice I added something. I added a little skip step. And I think this is really important, and this really helps kids to get the idea on this one. So this skip step looks like this. I'm running, and I'll skip, brush, step down, and see how I've turned that heel out. So watch that again, and see if we can put it all together here. So little, big, skip step, brush, and turn down. And then we want to be able to do this with either foot, because just like in basketball, you need to be able to perform with either foot. So as you're trying to work with your child on that big toe turn, what we see with our beginners is initially they may just kick the ball forward, and they just don't have the idea of getting around it. Our level 2 is that they'll run from behind and they'll kick it to the side. It kind of squirts outward and gets away from a little bit. Next, what we see is kind of interesting. We'll see them get their foot down, and then the ball rolls into their foot. And then we'll see them be able to stop the ball, and they may have that skip step and everything, but everything freezes for a moment. And that's why our last level we call stop and go, which is after you do that this little skip step here, you should be able to go right away. And to do that, you're going to have your body completely balanced and organized. And so watch when they've done this big toe turn to see if they are disorganized, if they're leaning backwards. And what I always tell my students is an off-balance body position is a lot like pause on a video game. But in a soccer game, you're paused and everybody else is still in play. And so they can come and get your ball if you have a physically disorganized moment. So when they stop this ball, we want to see them stop it and be able to look very balanced and continue to go right away. Now once they get the idea of this, it's really fun to have races where they go from one side, have to do this turn, and then get back. And that's going to really drive some robustness in the skill and help them to get so they can maintain their balance through the turn and go. And they should be able to do this with either foot, and that's a really great place to start. Now if they get very proficient at this turn, then I love to see them learn how to do a little toe turn. And a little toe turn is with the outside of the foot, same brush as we did before, but now I'm going to turn my body sideways, and then I like to leave with an outside touch. All of this starts to become a lot more advanced. So something I didn't mention, with my carry touches, I almost always use my dominant foot. And the game might dictate sometime that you have to put a touch on with your other foot, and that's okay in the moment. We hope that kids just adapt. They're used to using both feet. But if I'm running in open space, I can run faster and have more vision if I use my dominant foot for those carry touches. So let's come back to now to this little toe turn. So I push it, I'm going to reach past and up here and then push it again. And notice while I'm doing this, I'm using a channel here, and you can make this channel out of anything that you have, just to give yourself an idea of can you be intentional in where these touches are going. So little toe turn is just brush and then outside, and then as quickly as possible I'll get back to my dominant foot carry touches. Well, that's entry-level soccer dribbling. Have fun teaching your child how to dribble.